Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, that's right.
whether you're ready or not, we're recording.
I have. I was gonna say. Oh, yeah, that's right. I have the opening. I forgot about that. See, unlike you, I just keep my list in Perplexity, and I don't delete my Would You Rather's. So
Hey,
I
listen.
have to. I have to like remember which ones I do, so I don't pull a breakfast food.
Right. That's
So
why I delete the ones now, is because I didn't delete the breakfast food one, and
right.
then yeah, as soon as I ask one now, I'm like, you're out of here. Get out.
Don't think that I've asked this before, and if I do, let me fail gloriously.
Oh, yeah. you, you will never
Don't
live it
immediately
down.
call.
You will never leave
Don't
it down.
immediately call
Oh
me out.
no, no, go for it. I hope that's the case.
This kind of goes along with the rail question, like the train, like you have the two railways that split.
Yeah.
Would you rather save one loved one or save 100 people?
Oh man. One loved one, so we're assuming this is like somebody that I'm like super close with.
Yeah, like let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just say it's Brooke.
Wow. That's
Putting you on the spot here.
that is a heck of a question there, because I don't know that I can like boy, because I've always said like if Brooke and Sky were not in the picture for me, and like
Uh-huh.
depending on how they went, right, like if something that's it's a freak accident, whatever, that type of deal, then I would probably be able to deal with things. But I've always said like I don't know what kind of monster I would become if somebody took them from me, like intentionally, you know what I'm saying? And so
Right.
when it comes to like, I don't know, the sacrificing of your loved one for the sake of 100 other people, I'd like to think that I'd be like altruistic enough to say that I would sacrifice my loved one for the sake of the 100 people. But I don't know. Who are the 100 people?
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
it just at
Exactly.
random? Like it's just there's 100 strangers in the world that if I don't sacrifice my loved one, that they're gonna die. Then I would probably be willing to sacrifice my loved one. If it is like hardened criminals or something like that, then it's like I don't think
Well,
so.
yeah, that's a given, but
It,
yeah, like
it's
100.
that's the old conundrum from the Joker gave to Batman. In the there's people on both boats. They both have a trigger to blow up the other boat, and then he's got the one to
Right.
blow up both of them and stuff. And so, yeah, that's an interesting conundrum in that sense. What do you think
Yeah.
your answer would be?
See, again, it's one of those things where like I hate the cop out. Like I don't know until I'm in the situation.
Right.
So I would probably. I mean, it's one of those things where I think being the person that I am, I don't know if I could live with saving one person for 100.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of part of my
And that
conundrum.
and
And
that's kind of where I'm at. Like I know that the one person would understand about my moral choice in that
yeah,
situation, but it would still it would definitely eat at me more, I think, with the 100 people than it would the one person.
yeah. How do you deal with your conscience like eating at you after you choose
Right.
that? Right. Like yeah, I totally get that one. I think that's a big part of it for me is like being a pastor and stuff like that. Like I self-sacrifice is a very easy concept for me to lean into, but sacrificing someone else
Right.
for the sake of other people, that's a whole different ballgame. Like
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I could try my best to say that yes, I would be like Jesus and be willing to give up of myself, like the thing that I care about in that respect, for the sake of the 100 people and stuff. But man, that's for a
Yeah.
loved one, like for my wife, that's a pretty tough question to
Yeah.
ask. So
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's really hard, and until you find yourself in that situation, I mean, it's easy to say like, oh yeah, I would definitely save the one person.
yep,
And like you said, like you don't know who those other 100 people are, so it's always hard to say.
right, for sure. Yeah, that's a good question. That's it, man. We went deep this time on the beginning.
We did, we did.
Not our usual like lighthearted. Would you rather fart out of your
Right.
eyes or
Yeah.
something like
Oh,
that?
or
I'll-
sneeze out
I,
of your
I'm gonna
ears.
have to come up with a good one for for the rebuttal on that one. So.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's dive into this bad boy. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Josh.
Recognize me? No? Well, I'm Josh.
I got suspended from school because of Josh.
You're going to be there with me in every way imaginable, Josh.
Josh is truly in a trance, yes.
I went to high school with Josh, and I can tell you right now, he's a terrific kisser.
Hi, I'm Josh.
Josh, these are people's jobs we're talking about, Josh.
Josh walking in the door wasn't even close.
Josh, you are a muffin-snuggling pirate puncher.
Josh is a good guy. We can talk to him.
Please welcome Joshua.
That was rough on my end. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
So we're gonna let everybody. Here's your peek behind the curtain for today. Literally, Josh. So Josh and I are on video call on Discord right now. So we were actually recording the audio for this episode via Discord through our recording setup that we typically have. And this is a kind of dry run for us because I have a little bit of news to share. So I have officially taken a job that's down in North Carolina at a church down there, which will be moving me and my family back to the farm that I grew up on and back to my hometown and stuff. And so it's a really, really cool opportunity. And God's really kind of orchestrated a lot of things in this for us. And so, but as we started talking about this, Josh and I were kind of like, I told him like right off the bat when I told him the news, I was like, we're going to figure out how to record this thing over a distance so that we can keep this going and stuff. And so there's actually a cool aspect of it for you guys, the listeners, that comes into play, which is that as we're getting this going and stuff, we're also going to be figuring out how to do video. And so when we put up on our YouTube stuff, and sometimes if we want clips and stuff to be able to put on our social media pages, it's bringing about that availability as well. And so we have one more time. Josh and I have talked about that. We'll probably be in person together recording in our
That episode's gonna be rough.
in our makeshift studio up here in the attic. But until that day comes and stuff like that, we're gonna record a couple episodes here on Discord and stuff, and then in the future, once we're down in North Carolina and everything, we will continue to do our recording this way and stuff. So we'll have video and stuff coming soon. That'll be kind of fun for us to be able to edit through some video and be able to show you guys our ugly mugs and a little bit more of what.
And then Josh gets to put up with me doing stuff like this.
Yeah, and we also have new sound effects that come along with all this. So that'll be fun for us to continue to use those too. So
Yeah, and we'll definitely try to get it to where like I know we're already planning a trip down. So maybe if in the future trips we can do fun stuff down there too. So
absolutely,
because we have the lav mics, we have everything.
We'll have to start doing all of the world's largest that are in North Carolina.
There we go.
We'll take it back to the OG when we first
can do a
started
beach
this.
episode.
Heck yeah. Dude, beach episodes are great. Yeah. Yeah, we'll love that. So yeah, we have all the stuff is traveling with me as far as the recording stuff, and so that's how we'll be able to do this from a distance, but it's also how we'll be able to, whenever Josh comes down, we can record episodes while we're live together, and we'll be able to go out and do funny videos and stuff. There's all kinds of shenanigans we can get into on the farm, so that'll be a good thing.
Absolutely. And the nice thing is I already had a semi-streaming setup anyway. So on my end, nothing really changed with my like setup as far as my computer and stuff like that goes. I'm probably going to try to get a green screen for the back because they're not that expensive really.
Right. we might have one somewhere around here. I'm not sure.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, like it's one of those things where, you know, even though Josh is moving, like we did not want to give this up.
No,
because we have way too much fun doing this. So
absolutely, man.
The only bad thing that I'm realizing about this is I have so much like fidget stuff on my desk that I might just like, you know, I have my little Lego Ventrac tractor.
Nice.
This was our Christmas gift.
That's great
from Ventrac this year. So they had like the Lego Creator um, app thing that you can do, they had Lego create a tractor for us for
That's
Christmas, which
so
was
stinking
pretty
cool.
cool.
That's amazing. That's one of the best gifts you could get from a place that you work at.
I mean, honestly, because I'm obsessed with Legos, and I need to post a picture of my new office. Well, not my new office, but how I have everything set up. Because for my birthday, I think we talked about it. I got the Skyline from Too Fast Too Furious.
Yep.
I have that put together on my desk, and
That's awesome.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. And then, but I also have the little Lego too, so it's like the little one. And
Oh
then the
yeah,
big
yeah,
one.
nice. Step
So,
up. I've got a
but yeah,
couple of ones that are represented like that. I'm looking over to my left right now because my Star Wars Lego collection is up here in the attic with me. I have a couple of ones where it's the smaller with the larger of the versions of it and stuff. I love that stuff. That's really cool.
yeah.
So
So
today, as we jump in, I've got I had something that I asked Josh about, and I was actually like really shocked that you said you've never heard of this before. But the topic I wanted to kind of throw out to you today was Action Park. Do you know anything about Action Park at all?
it's one of those things where it almost sounds familiar, but it does not sound familiar at all.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like once we get into the beginning of it, if maybe you'll like recognize some of this, because if not, it is truly shocking to me that you haven't heard of this place before. So Action Park is like one of the most infamous, and that's a great word to use for it, infamous amusement parks in American history. And so we're going to be talking all about kind of how this thing came about, all the things that went on there and stuff. And if you haven't heard about this before, I know for a fact that there's going to be aspects of what we're going to talk about in this that you're going to be like, dude, I hate that we never got to go there. But so here's
the more that you're talking about it, it is starting to ring a bell.
Okay. Yeah.
But
so
they
talked about it, I know, on Things I Learned Last Night, which is a favorite podcast of my family. And I know that they've talked about it maybe like a little bit on Ninjas, if I remember correctly. Ninjas Are Butterflies. I don't recall how much they talked about it. So Action Park was opened in 1978 in northern New Jersey by an entrepreneur named Eugene Mulvihill. I think I'm saying that correctly.
Mulvihill, okay.
Yeah. So the park was built on the grounds of a ski resort and was marketed as something radically different from traditional amusement parks. So the whole idea behind this was Mulvihill, and I've heard this story a few different times, and one of the like overarching themes for this guy was that he wanted to basically create an amusement park where you could the person who was attending the amusement park that was going there for the enjoyment could pretty much do whatever they wanted to. It was like there's no rules kind of place.
That sounds 100% safe.
Yeah. So like
at first though, when you were like, oh, it was built on, and I was gonna say like an Indian burial ground.
No, it's not Serpent Mound all over again. So this is like legitimately, they built it as a ski resort, and so the whole idea was, instead of passive rides where the visitors were just simply like strapped in, like you go to Disney World, right? Like you get strapped into some sort of ride and you have to just go along with the ride and see what it takes you on, in a sense. This was more of the idea,
a lazy river water, or like a water park where it's just all.
Well, yeah, it's like any of the places we go to nowadays. Like if you go to Cedar Point up here in Ohio, they have some of the fastest roller coasters, biggest roller coasters, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, you willfully go and strap yourself into a roller coaster, and it's a designed ride that's going to be exactly the same every time, right? The whole idea behind Action Park was that the guests get to be in control of the action themselves. So no ride is ever the same twice, because you get to have some control over it. So here, I'll start describing a little bit of it. You'll understand more of it. So the park was divided into 3 major sections: the Alpine Center, Motor World, and Water World. Together, they contained...
Kevin Costner was there?
Yeah. Yeah. The gills on his neck and the whole 9 yards. but together they contained dozens of attractions that were often experimental. So that's a key thing to hold on to doing this, is that this guy was willing to basically try anything as a ride as long as he felt like people would actually like do it in a sense. So experimental, minimally tested. So like there's one that I'm going to describe that you'll completely understand what I mean by minimally tested. And
so OSHA was not involved.
No, gosh, no. They would have been shut down moment one. We'll say that much.
Yeah. Hey guys, I have this idea for an amusement park. The people get to decide how the ride goes.
They're like, nope, sorry.
Yeah. No. Let's tear it down. No,
we're going to go ahead and give you a $500,000 fine.
Preemptively.
But in some cases, apparently, they designed with more enthusiasm than engineering in a lot of the cases in this. So, over time, Action Park earned nicknames like Accident Park, Traction Park, which is my favorite.
Traction Park?
Traction Park, yeah. Class Action Park and Friction Park. So
wait, was it Traction Park because like when you rode on rides
you got
like,
put in traction. Yes. So injuries were like super common on this park, and it was great. So a lot of the former visitors often described leaving the park with listen to this list: bruises, burns, cuts, sprains, or worse. We'll get to that. Yeah. Among the park's most notorious attractions was the Alpine Slide, which was a concrete luge-style track running down the mountainside. I wish you guys could see Josh's face right now.
Okay.
So riders would sit on a small wheeled sled, and they controlled their speed with a very simple lever that was like a brake, basically, right? So it was like very rudimentary. You're putting pressure with your hand to make this thing slow down in a sense.
So like, have you seen, and they're probably AI generated, but like the videos of like the Mario Kart in real life, like going down the side of a mountain where there's like trees and stuff in the middle of the, oh my gosh.
So think about that, but think about it built like haphazardly, basically. And so they said that in practice, riders frequently lost control, flew off the track, scraped themselves badly against the concrete and fiberglass that the track was built out of. I mean, it was a death race basically to the bottom of this mountain and stuff. According to the state records, the ride caused numerous fractures and numerous severe head injuries over the course of time that it was allowed to operate.
You don't say.
Yep. So one 19-year-old there's like a news story on a 19-year-old that died after he was thrown from the track and struck his head against a part of the concrete. So that was one of the deaths. So the next one that they had was the tidal wave pool, which was later nicknamed the grave pool. It was one of the first large wave pools in the United States, but it generated waves that were so powerful that even experienced swimmers struggled to fight back against them. Unlike the ocean waters, the freshwater pool provided less buoyancy, making the conditions even more dangerous. Lifeguards reportedly rescued dozens of people per day during busy weekends. 3 people ultimately drowned in the tidal wave pool. Now, here's one of the things that so I had AI write out a kind of list of about all these different dangerous things that they did and stuff. But I want you to hear about the stories that were told concerning the people who worked at Action Park. This will give you some insight into the rest of these things we're going to talk about, as well as the tidal pool. They said that it was like a regular occurrence that this guy would hire on high school and college age kids to work at the park, right? But he hired them on, and there was.
But the thing is, I mean, even now, like that's the majority of the workers at Cedar Point, at Zoombezi Bay, at any of these parks are. I mean, they're mostly college kids, but still,
they're still hiring the same age people in a sense. But the training and the regulations of the
Okay,
workers
yeah, that's
is where
fair.
things kind of fall apart. So there was little to no training. One of the most common things that they said was that the people who worked at Action Park were regularly as drunk, if not more drunk, than the people who were attending Action Park to have fun there during the day and stuff. And so now they
To be
have,
fair, though, that is a lot of people to deal with. So, like, I kind of get it.
but they have teenagers basically that are drunk on the job, and they're supposed to be the lifeguards over this wave pool that is notoriously dangerous already. So now you've got drunk lifeguards trying to save people.
You said wave pool. Like, I mean, you've been to Zumiezi Bay. They have the wave pool,
Yeah,
and it's
yep.
more like little waves and things like that.
Right.
At Geauga Lake, it was called the Wave, which it was a wave pool.
Right.
But it was like pulses of like a sustained wave.
Right.
Which, I mean, there were people that had to be rescued. And I know at one point somebody had drowned, but like, and that's even in modern day context. So I can't imagine.
I'm sure that it's a common thing, but they had 3 people that died in this place, and Action Park was not open that long, as you'll find out why in just a few minutes.
No.
So
Stop.
now let's talk about the best part, in my opinion, of the water rides that they had. There's still a few more to talk about, but this one's my favorite. They decided that amongst all the things that they had going on for the water park and stuff, part of it, that they needed a water slide that had a loop in it.
Stop.
So
Stop.
So without consulting any engineers or having any proper people that should have been there for this, they built what was called the Cannonball Loop, which is the most notorious part of Action Park for most of the stories that I've heard and stuff.
So the Cannon Fall Loop, got it.
Yeah. So this ride featured a fully vertical loop at the end of an enclosed water slide. So basically you did one of those water slides where you're kind of falling straight down, so you get like maximum speed going. And then when you got close to the bottom of it, that joker did a full loop and then shot you out the bottom. Or I should say it was supposed to shoot you out the bottom.
Right. But like, okay, so I'm trying to wrap my mind around somebody who would actually do this.
Oh, you would be surprised because there were. Oh, let me tell you more about it.
Okay,
and because there's one aspect
like water
of it.
creates friction. Friction reduces speed.
Yes.
No matter how much angle and approach you have, the water's going to slow you down inevitably anyway.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes.
Centripetal force only works so well. But when you're creating a barrier in between what's supposed to be holding you up and the water, like how did they even get the water to spin like that? Like that's what is not making sense to me.
The only thing that I could figure is, because that was one thing that I never heard the aspect of how they did it. The only thing I could figure is that at the bottom of the curve, like where you entered into it in a sense, they must have had some sort of like spot
like
for the water to go out so that it would recycle and then come back on the backside of it, or it was just you were just riding off of the water you had on you basically. But that becomes a key part of it as you hear about the way or what started happening to people as they were going around the loop. So when they first started the water slide, it was very common that people would go around the loop, get to the top, and then flop onto the interior part, top of the roof, right? So, or top of the loop. So yeah, like some people, most of them would hit basically like, so you would be coming around feet first. When you got to that part, it would crap whip you onto the top of this thing. You would like, people would bust their faces wide open on this joker all the time.
No.
And so people are getting like legitimately hurt. And then you have to come off of that part and then recatch the curve of the slide. So your back of your head smacks against that on the way back down. Right. And so they started having like, people were coming out of it and they're like, oh, my head's all busted up, stuff like they're bleeding all over the place. And so
Why is the water red? I don't understand.
yes. So instead of going, hey guys, maybe the loop wasn't a great idea, we should just turn this into a straight slide, they say, no, the issue is that we don't have any padding on the top part of the loop up there. So they went
padding
in.
is the problem.
So the two things they had to do in order to solve these problems with this loop water slide, the two things they had to do was, number one, they went up and installed a hatch on the top of the slide so they could open it to assist people getting down, basically, because people were getting stuck up there on top of the inside of the loop. And so not only did they install the hatch so they could help people get out, but they went up and they installed padding on that part of the thing where people were coming around and landing on it, right? Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Okay, so theoretically,
it gets
to have
worse.
This, you would have to have a solid U shape. So there's no there's no bolt marks that come together. So now you're taking that and you're opening a space where even if somebody does make the loop, they could literally fly out of the hatch.
Well, if it was open, yeah. It was still closed, but
okay. Given the track history of this park, do you think they had a latch on the?
You haven't even heard the worst part of the slide yet. That's the best part to me.
But wait, there's more, Billy Mays.
Yeah, indeed. So they install padding along that top part, right? And what ended up happening was, as people were going around, they were flopping onto that top part again. Their face was hitting. They were losing teeth in the padding. So people's teeth were being ripped out of their head and were staying stuck in the padding. So then what started happening was people would go around the loop again, and when they went through, other people's teeth were cutting them. Like gashing them open as they were sliding off of this pad to continue around the rest of the loop on the slides. so yes, it actually indeed got worse. You didn't think it could be that bad, but
why did somebody let Uncle Cletus, who's the town drunk, hey, I got an idea.
Riders reportedly came out bloodied, bruised. Some had injuries traced to teeth that had been knocked loose and embedded in the slide walls and the padding. A physician later estimated riders experienced as much as 9 Gs while passing through the loop. In case our listeners out there don't know, 9 Gs is like more than the average like jet pilot experiences when he's like turning.
Right, that's 9 times the gravitational pull of Earth.
Yes. So imagine how you feel right now just sitting still, and then imagine it being 9 times greater. And so naturally on this one, the state regulators eventually shut the ride down, though it briefly reopened years later before being permanently abandoned because they just couldn't do it anymore. So you ready to move on to the next crazy thing? Because there's more.
There's more?
Oh, there's so much more. Let's talk about Motor World. So Motor World contains several attractions involving vehicles that the guests got to control themselves, often with some really bad consequences. So they had super go-karts, which I love this so much.
Define super go-karts.
So you know how like when you go to ride go-karts that they have governors on them, and that it's possible to turn the governor off on the go-karts, and that they're capable of going much faster than what you typically experience, right? So if my family spent a lot of time going to the beach when I was younger. If you go to the beach, you go to one of those go-kart places that's out on the beach. All of those go-karts there are only capable of going like maybe 15 miles an hour or so. And they have regulators on them. The guys that work at those places typically know how to turn those regulators off to make it so the go-karts can go exponentially faster on the track and stuff. So with the go-karts that were at Action Park, the employees there which that's my favorite part, is the employees that did this. The employees reportedly bypassed the speed governors by stuffing tennis balls into the mechanisms to hold them so they wouldn't engage, allowing the carts to travel much faster than they were intended to go. So, a bunch of things ended up happening in the midst of this. As you could imagine, crashes became a very common part of what was going on with these go-karts, because unexperienced riders getting on super fast go-karts, laying into each other and stuff like that, lots of crashes. And the ride effectively turned into uncontrolled bumper cars at high speeds. And so you've now got people essentially causing car accidents on a go-kart track.
My gosh.
Some of the things that I found out was at one point in time, the employees of Action Park got busted for taking these go-karts out onto an actual highway that was outside of Action Park. So they were actually like, these things were so fast, they were riding them down the highway and like just having fun, carrying on. And yeah, so now to make things worse, you've got go-karts that the governors are turned off on. So they're capable of going faster than usual, which if you've ever been hit on a normal go-kart, like somebody hits you from behind going the full speed that they can go, it's enough to give you whiplash, right? It's enough for you to kind of like get jarred in a sense. So you imagine now we've got go-karts that are capable of going, let's just say double the speed. So you've got 30, 35 mile an hour at least crashes going on these go-karts. Well, the people at Action Park said, we don't think that that's enough. We need to add another aspect to our go-kart course. So they begin to take and mount tennis ball shooting guns. So if you could imagine the ones that they use in American Gladiator. Yeah. They installed those at different places around the track where people were racing the go-karts. And so they're pneumatically powered so that they could, fire off tennis balls at all these things that are riding around. Well, that adds danger, naturally. And so...
Oh, so like mini speed bumps that roll all around the go-kart track?
Well, not just the speed bumps, but the fact that most people were malicious enough to fire them right at the faces of the other drivers as they were going around. So it became the game to try to see like if you could hit your buddy in his face while he was going 35 miles an hour on a go-kart around corners.
Oh, we
and
would
stuff.
do the same thing. Let's
100%. 100%. Dude, I would absolutely destroy anybody that I knew that was on that ride. So, it got really out of hand though, because at one point in time, as though the tennis balls weren't dangerous enough, a guy snuck in a small can of gasoline, doused some of the tennis balls in gasoline and lit them on fire and began firing them at the carts, which, by the way, he did not get in trouble for with the people who were in charge of stuff at Action Park. They were like, yep, sounds about right.
That's kind of par for the course, though. I mean, you have like a slip and slide covered in people's teeth. Who cares about a little fire?
Yeah. What's fire going to do, right? So
yeah,
they had other attractions.
Cauterize the wounds. It's fine.
They had other attractions in Motor World, like Lola race cars, speedboats, which also no governor on, and various experimental vehicle rides, which I didn't get a whole lot of information on those. There's more.
Experiment. There's more.
Oh gosh, dude, the list just keeps going with this place.
It's like Christmas.
The Roaring Rapids ride was also one that was of infamy in this park. Unlike carefully controlled river rapid rides at modern parks that we have today, this attraction was rough, unpredictable, and frequently caused riders to slam into the side of the course and each other while they were on it. So, the list of injuries from this one that were very common were broken noses, dislocated shoulders, and cuts amongst people. So, yeah,
that's not too bad.
The Roaring Rapids, pretty great place. One of the strangest attractions at Action Park was the Tarzan swing, where riders swung from a rope into an icy mountain-fed pool. So, they had a deep pool there was a cliff where these people would run and swing off of a rope out over it and then drop down into the pool below and stuff, which, by the way, was also manned by drunken high school lifeguards. So we've upped the danger level from now. It's not just the wave pool. It's now you're going to fling yourself off of this cliff into frigid mountain water where you could easily just have a heart attack because you're warm and having fun, and then you are in frigid water and stuff. And by the way, little Jimmy over here, who's about 15 years old and got acne all over his face, he's drunk, and he's gonna be looking out for you, so you're gonna be safe. No problems.
And then if you ask, is the water cold? They just push you in.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I would imagine so.
That's a very niche
I would
joke
imagine
right
so. Oh yeah, yeah. All the way back to good old SWO days. And so the water temperature was reportedly so cold that many swimmers went into shock when they came into contact with it. So
No.
yeah, because it was a summertime place, right, in New Jersey. People were out there just having a blast. It's like 80 something degrees. You're all hot and sweaty, and then you jump into 45-degree mountain water. Of course, you're gonna have some kind of side effect.
Yeah, your body's not going to go into shock from that.
Yeah. Another ride that they had there was the kayak experience, which became the site of one of the park's most disturbing deaths when a guest was electrocuted after his kayak tipped and he came into contact with electrified water that was caused by faulty wiring for one of the other rides.
Wait, they had faulty wiring?
Yeah. But the funny thing is, that's the tamest thing on their list, right? You're like, oh yeah, of course they have faulty wiring. Why wouldn't they?
Ever want to simulate electric eels? This is the ride for you.
Yeah. So, a little background on the staff, right? Because the line here is that Action Park's culture was as dangerous as the rides themselves. Much of the staff consisted of teenagers, like I told you about, many of whom had little training and zero supervision. Visitors and employees alike were often intoxicated, and alcohol was reportedly easy for underage guests to obtain anytime they wanted to.
That's absolutely crazy.
Doctors and emergency workers in the region became accustomed to the constant stream of injuries and phone calls from Action Park during the summer weekends.
So basically, hey, I mean, it's job security.
Yeah. So now behind the scenes, right? The financial structure supporting Action Park was nearly as chaotic as the park was. The park was operated by Great American Recreation, or GAR, Mulvihill's company that he owned. Because the rides generated so many injuries and lawsuits, insurance costs became astronomical, as you can imagine. Like, what company was even... It's wild to me that any company was even willing to take them on. So...
He started his own insurance company.
He actually did.
Shut up.
Rather than pay legitimate insurers, GAR eventually created what prosecutors described as a fraudulent self-insurance scheme involving a fake insurance company based in the Cayman Islands. So this allowed the company...
Of course it was based in the Cayman Islands.
Yep. This allowed them to avoid massive premiums while continuing operations in these crazy circumstances. Mulvihill ultimately pled guilty to several insurance fraud-related charges in the mid-'80s. So, for periods of time, Action Park reportedly operated with effectively no liability insurance at all. New Jersey law did not explicitly require amusement parks to carry liability insurance, and GAR concluded that fighting lawsuits directly was cheaper than purchasing legitimate coverage in the first place.
Oh, my brain just broke. What?
Yeah, they found out that because of all the crap that they had going on, it was cheaper for them to fight the lawsuits that people brought to them over getting hurt in the park than it was to pay the insurance premiums that would have protected them from that in the first place. That's wild.
That, like I said, that literally just broke my brain. The sad part is, I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah. So by the 1990s, the accumulating injury claims and lawsuits began to overwhelm the company financially. thousands of claims had been reportedly filed against GAR over the years.
You said 90s?
In the 90s. Yeah.
Was the park still open in the 90s?
I'm getting to that part to see.
Okay.
It was. Yes, it was still open until the mid 90s. So it opened in 79. It was open until the mid 90s. So it actually went more than a decade.
20 years?
More than a decade, yeah.
Why are people still going to this park?
Because they're having a blast, dude. You can drink at whatever age you want to. You can drive your go-karts on the road. You can fire flaming tennis balls at people. You and I would have been there just as well as anybody else.
The flaming tennis balls, like I'm all about that. Like,
don't act like we probably would have tried the loop too. You're like, what's a tooth for this epic story? You know. So that we know of. At least 6 people died at Action Park over its lifetime.
Okay, this is going to sound bad. That's it.
Yeah, hey, now you got to think thousands of injuries though. Like the lawsuits and stuff were in the thousands.
But I'm saying that's it. Like that's crazy that was
like I said, that's what we know of. That's what was reported in a sense. So it says 6 people died over the course of its lifetime, though many former visitors believe the true number of serious injuries that was later fatal to the people that was much higher than the official record suggests. State regulators were often criticized for failing to intervene more aggressively, despite repeated accidents and violations that were going on at the park. Some observers later argued that Action Park survived partly because it existed during an era before modern amusement park safety standards became widespread and tightly enforced. So, this is one of those cases of the reason why there's a warning on your McDonald's coffee cup that says "Caution, extremely hot." Is because there was somebody in the past that burned themselves with McDonald's coffee, right? And so that same thing, like that, they sued McDonald's, and so after that point in time, everybody that has a coffee cup that has hot contents in it, you got to put a warning on there so you don't get sued. Well, Action Park is
maybe hot, yeah.
Yeah, Action Park is the poster child for the reasons why all of these amusement parks that we attend today have all the regulations and stuff they do. It's the reason why you can't stand up on the boat that goes around It's a Small World at Disney World. You can't, raise your hands but so high on certain rides. You can't do all these kind of things, like keep your hands, arms and hands inside of the vehicle at all times. They have to say that before every single ride that you get on, because if they didn't say it, you could come back and sue them and stuff. And so Action Park is probably the one I would imagine to thank for a lot of those regulations that we deal with today. So the end finally came for Action Park in the mid 1990s. The Great American Recreation's financial situation deteriorated rapidly under the weight of all the lawsuits, their debt, and the mounting legal pressures that they were having from all the city and state governments and stuff. Creditors forced the company into bankruptcy in 1996. And after the season ended that Labor Day, Action Park was closed forever.
That's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Especially because, going back to the McDonald's lawsuit, I'm pretty sure that happened before the park actually closed.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was sometime in the 90s.
That was it was like earlier mid 90s. I'm pretty sure when that lady got burned.
So the cool thing is that the resort and the park properties were later purchased by a new owner who extensively renovated the facilities, removed many of the dangerous rides that they had from before, and reopened the water park under the safer and more conventionally named Mountain Creek Water Park. So despite its horrific safety record, Action Park developed an almost mythic status in American pop culture. For many former visitors, it represented a uniquely reckless era when personal responsibility often replaced regulation and amusement parks operated like uncontrolled experiments.
That's so wild.
It's the craziest thing. I couldn't believe that you hadn't heard of Action Park before. That was like the funny thing to me, because ever since I listened to the Things I Learned Last Night episode about it, which was like one of their earliest ones. I've heard it several different times mentioned in different podcasts and stuff, and I'm like, I love
absolutely
Action
crazy.
Park. Like, I wish I could have gone there. I don't know that I would have participated in everything, but man, I would have loved to have been there just to see some of the things and like to at least watch somebody try to go around the loop. Seems like the
Right?
best thing ever.
That is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Like
Good stuff.
I can't fathom. Like, well, it was just a couple of years ago when what is it? Carowinds had the roller coaster where like the welds came undone.
Yeah,
And like you could see like the things separating while people were riding on the roller coaster.
that's
It's
crazy.
like, have you never seen the movie Final Destination? Because that's how you get Final
That's
Destination.
right. That's how you get yourself killed. None of us wants
Well,
that.
here we go. So to lighten the mood a little bit,
Okay.
not that wasn't hilarious.
Yeah,
But
oh,
I
yeah.
do have a game for you.
Oh,
I do have a game.
Josh likes to
It's
test me with
been-
games.
it's-
I promised you
it's been
one,
a
and I
hot
haven't
minute.
lived up to it yet. I got to get a game together so we can play together.
I know you teased that you had a game
Yeah, I
for
did.
me,
I did.
and you never did it.
I
jerk.
did. I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
So I was thinking, and this kind of came to me like the last I think it was like yesterday. I was thinking about this. It's like there's so many like phrases that people say, but like don't actually know the meanings behind them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some. We can do it one of two ways. I can say what the phrase is, and then I give you A, B, C to where the origin came from, or I could give you different origins, and you could try to figure out what the phrase is.
Oh man. I'm gonna defer to you. You tell me which one you want to do.
Okay, so
I feel like I
maybe-
have.
maybe
I feel
we'll
like I
do-
have a lot of like old idioms and stuff like that in my head. So I'm hoping that maybe I'll be okay at this.
Okay, so let's do it. Let's do it this way. So I'm gonna give you three different prompts: A, B, C, and only one of them is correct.
Okay. All right. And I gotta try to
Um,
guess what the phrase is that
Yes.
that they're described. That one of them is correct.
Yeah.
in
So
describing.
I'll test your knowledge of the meaning behind the phrases.
Okay.
How about that?
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So first one, this refers to soldiers gripping ammunition to stay focused during combat drills. It comes from people literally biting on something during a painful surgery before anesthesia, or it was slang for making difficult but a clean decision.
So is this bite the bullet?
Yes, this is bite the bullet.
Okay. So bite the bullet, and I'm thinking the second description is the correct one, right? Is it?
Yes, that is correct.
Because it's like it was like that sometimes when you were in the field or whatever, if you didn't have anything else, they would put a bullet casing in the guy's mouth to
Mhm.
bite down on, so that he had something to kind of. Usually, it
Yeah.
saved some of your other teeth while maybe breaking one or two of
Right.
the ones it was
Well,
on.
and before ammunition and stuff, they would give you like a thick piece of leather
Yep.
to bite
Yep.
on, like anything to like
A towel,
because
something,
your
yeah.
jaw's immediately gonna like clench down because of the pain.
Right.
All right, number two. Actually, I'm gonna go the other way around because some of these it gives it way too much.
Okay,
like,
yeah, that's fair.
biting down on the bullet. Okay. All right. So the next phrase is "mad as a hatter."
Mad as a hatter.
So your choices are. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go for it. Go for it.
All right. So A, it came from hat makers exposed to mercury poisoning, which caused tremors and strange behavior. B, it referred to hat makers who worked too quickly and became mad with stress. Or C, it was a phrase for someone who was overly cheerful and unpredictable.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
So I obviously know of the Mad Hatter from the Alice in Wonderland, and I thought that maybe the reference came from there. But if it's one of those options, I'm leaning towards the last one.
A phrase for someone who's overly cheerful and unpredictable.
Yeah, it's either got to be that one or it's the first one, something to do with the guys being exposed to the thing and going like crazy while they were making hats. Please tell me that I'm not wrong. It's the second one.
You
Swing
do
and a
have
miss.
it narrowed down to a 50-50. I will tell you that.
Okay. What was the first one again? It was like they were exposed to what?
It came from hat makers exposed to mercury poisoning, which caused tremors and strange behavior.
Well, let's do that one. I like the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And that is correct.
Oh, okay, cool. I got
Hat
it, man.
makers were exposed to
Thought it
mercury in the
through.
manufacturing process, and mercury poisoning could cause serious neurological symptoms. So
That's
the
crazy.
less quirky phrase is, yeah. Well, in I'm sure you've heard of like the uranium girls or
Yeah,
irradium
yep.
girls, like with the making of the watches and stuff like that.
Yeah, at one point in
Which
time,
that's
I actually
that's a
had them.
bizarre story.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had them on my list at one point in time, but I never got around to telling that story. Maybe we'll
Okay.
dive into that one in a future episode.
Right. All right. So here's another very popular one: riding shotgun.
Ooh, riding shotgun. So I
Okay.
think I do know where this one comes from. And do you want me just to say like what my answer is, or do you want to give
Yeah.
the?
Go ahead.
So I think if I recall correctly that this was when they had stagecoaches back in the Old West that would carry like money and stuff that they were transferring from one city to another or taking it to a bank or whatever, that there was the guy who had the reins for the horses, and then the guy that rode beside him carried a double barrel shotgun to ward off any would-be robbers and stuff like that. So if somebody came up, he was the one that was responsible for kind of like the defense of the driver and stuff while they were going along.
Yep, you are correct.
Nice.
I actually did know that one. That was one of the few on this list that I actually knew the actual origin of the phrase.
I've watched way too many cowboy movies with my granddad to not know that one. he would be in heaven like just yelling at me right now if I got that one wrong.
All right, here's one that I didn't know had an alternate origin for.
Okay.
Deadline.
Ooh, deadline. I'm gonna have to get the options on this one.
Okay. A. It originally meant the final moment before the bell was rung to mark the end of work. So like the shift bell.
Sure.
B. It was a prison boundary that inmates could be shot for crossing. Or C. It came from newspaper editors setting exact times for copies to arrive.
I'm gonna say that like based on what I know, I would say that it's got to be the newspaper one, right? Like that it's a because that's what a deadline is all about. Is like this is
Right.
the cutoff point where you have to have everything in. Like the first one with the bell to sound the end of the day and stuff. I would think that like if somebody was working, that they could still finish whatever task they were on and stuff like that. So it's not like a hard
Right.
cutoff in a sense. Whereas the newspaper one was.
It could have been like, okay, that's when the line shuts down and it's dead. It's a dead.
Sure.
line.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the newspaper one because that was my first instinct.
All right. Actually, the answer is B. A prison boundary that inmates
Really?
could be shot for crossing. Yep.
Wow.
It was a dead line.
How did
Yep.
that get transferred into like this is your cutoff time to get something turned in?
I don't know.
That's wild to me.
It was a literal line in the prison that you did not cross unless you wanted your day to get extremely worse.
Jeez. I'm gonna start using that and being like, when people say like, yeah, this is your deadline, I'm gonna be like, that's offensive. People died. Are you making fun of people dying? What's wrong with you? Don't set deadlines.
Too soon,
for me.
man. Too
Yeah.
soon. All right. The next phrase is to wreak havoc.
Oh, to wreak havoc. Okay.
All right. So A, it refers to causing mess or disruption in a minor way. It became a naval command to scatter enemies in battle. Or C, havoc. The word havoc once meant permission for soldiers to plunder, destroy, or kill.
Oh. Wow. What was the first one again?
The first one was it refers to causing a mess or disruption in a minor way.
In a minor way. So
Yeah.
But the second one was like naval, like they're spreading
Like
the
the
enemy out in a
scatter.
sense, like scattering people
Yeah.
in a sense. And then the last one was like the permission to plunder and do
Like,
crazy things
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, do all the plundering, piratey things.
I'm gonna go with that one, the last one. That sounds the most accurate to me in like the description of wreaking havoc, but I don't know.
You are correct.
Hey,
The answer is C. It
that,
used to be a
that one
war
just kind of
cry
made
or
sense. Like
command.
the military thing seems a little too subdued for that to become the term
word
for
havoc,
like,
yeah.
that you're gonna wreak havoc on something. So,
The next one is being caught red-handed.
ooh, caught red-handed. Okay,
Okay.
I think I have an
A,
idea on this one, but
it means being caught with visible blood on your hands after a crime. B, it came from criminals wearing red gloves to avoid fingerprints. Or C, it described workers stained by red dye or ink.
I'm gonna go with this. Ah,
Are you?
I don't think it's the red glove thing, because why would criminals wear something that would stand out like a red glove? I feel like you would dress in black if you're a criminal. I feel like that black gloves are like the way to go. Not to mention, like, if it's an older phrase, how common were red gloves back in the day? Like, I don't feel like that's got to be a thing in a sense. But what was the first one?
It means being caught with visible blood on your hands after a crime.
Okay, and give me the last one more time.
It described workers' hands stained by red dye or ink.
I mean, the first one makes so much sense because that's the application that we use it in all the time, is
Right.
like that someone's caught in the crime. But I feel like when we
Too
use
obvious?
it too, it feels too obvious, and it also feels like that whenever we use it, it's typically more around the lines of like, oh, you stole that pack of bubble gum, we saw you do it, you were caught red-handed. And so that makes me go back to, it's either the second or the third one. I'm gonna go with the third answer.
Workers having stained
Their hands
by
were
red
stained.
dye or ink. That's the first one you've got wrong.
Oh no! Is it
was
the
A.
second answer? Oh, it's
It
the
was
first
A.
one. Wow, it really is like the whole like blood on the hands.
Yeah.
Seemed too obvious to
Yeah.
me.
I know. Like when I was reading it, I was like, no way. And then I looked it up and it was.
Because I
It
mean,
was
I understand the concept
most
behind it. It
obvious
makes
one.
sense, but at the same time, I was just like, it seems like way too straightforward in that sense. But all right.
Here's another one that is a very popular one.
Okay.
The phrase "cat got your tongue."
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to hear the ones for this one.
All right.
I'm hoping it's not
So-
the cats are literally stealing people's tongues.
A, it's a sailor's expression for being unable to answer after a loud ship whistle. B, it's likely it has a folklore or punishment related origin, though exact sources are uncertain. C, it came from cats stealing food from market vendors. So like, people would sell like animal parts and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it would be like literally like cow tongue.
I think, I don't know. The second one seems to make the most sense. It's just an older tale in a sense that came about. The pirate one's hard to believe. Like that you couldn't
It's a sailor.
or sailor, but you couldn't talk because you whistled.
Right.
I've never known somebody not to be able to talk after they whistle. My dad's got a really loud one of those, like where you put two fingers in your mouth and he can whistle like super loud.
I can't do those.
Yeah, Dad can do it super loud. I can do one of those whistles without putting my fingers in my mouth, but it's not nearly as loud as my dad's was. But I'm gonna go with the second answer. I think it's got to be something from folklore or something along those lines.
All right, back on the correct answer streak.
right.
But yeah, so basically it just involves like punishment or not being able to talk or things like that. We'll do one more because I think we're probably getting close to time here. So another one of the feline variety.
Another one.
Letting the cat out of the bag.
Oh, letting the cat out of the bag. All right.
Okay. A, it refers to revealing a secret, often linked to a scam involving a cat in a sack.
Okay.
B, it came from cat-shaped coin purses used by merchants. Or it described livestock escaping from market bags.
Livestock escaping from market bags.
Yeah. So like, yeah,
went down to
that
the
one
market today. I got
that
my
one
goat in my purse. I'm just gonna take him home.
Yeah.
I
Well, you think like smaller, like chicks and like, baby animals, like if you're taking it home in a bag to have dinner.
sure. Yeah. Okay. I think that from what I recall, that the first one maybe sounds the most plausible. That there was some sort of scam that people were pulling back in the day of having like there was a literal cat in a bag, and that people who knew the scam and stuff like that something to do with it, they would let it out and kind of spoil the fun of the scam or whatever.
Yeah. So you would be correct. So the common
Hey.
explanation for this is someone was sold a pig in a sack. But the sack actually contained a cat. So once the cat was out, the trick was exposed.
So they really were actually exchanging livestock in sacks at some point in time, which is that's a really crazy thing to me. I feel like if you've got a cat in a sack versus a pig in a sack, that you would, if you're not discerning enough to know, like, I don't know, to even like just feel the animal and say like.
But I mean, you got to think though, like a piglet is probably going to be the size of a house cat or a street cat.
Yeah, but they make different noises, and their feet feel totally different. I mean, there's like a whole gambit
We're
of things that
probably
I feel
also
like,
talking about people in like the 1800s, so
true.
Intelligence wasn't necessarily high on the priority list for those people.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah. So, all right, that's okay. I don't feel bad about my performance in that one. I felt like
No, you did. I think you only got one wrong. So
maybe two, because there was
was one of those.
Yeah.
Or no. I think you. Let's see. You got the caught red-handed.
No, I missed the caught red-handed, right? Because that was the obvious one.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the caught red-handed.
And there was one like the second or third one. I thought maybe I missed that one, but I could be wrong.
No, because it was biting the bullet, mad as a hatter. Oh no, wait. Yeah, because you answered C. The
mad as a hatter. I answered the last one, and it should have been the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, I don't feel bad about it though. That's a decent one. So not next episode, because we've already got that one planned out, but the next time I'm gonna bring a game. I'll have something prepared for you.
I've heard that before.
You've only heard it once before though. Let's calm it down a little bit, all right? you know how the ADHD farm over here is, so all right, well, as we get ready to wrap up, we will remind you guys that we have a link tree. What the link tree is just one place where all of our links are put together to make it really easy for you to find stuff. So if you click on that, it's in the description of where you're listening. It's on the bottom of all of our posts that we put up on social media. So if you click on that, you can go and find, if you want to find a place to listen, if you want to find our social media, other stuff that we have available, you can find it all there. We would love for you to go check that out. And for all of the different places, make sure you hit all of the like buttons and stuff. And so, as Josh usually
share,
says,
subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And especially like we said at the beginning of the episode with the transition to remote recording, we are going to try to work out video in our episodes. So I know for YouTube, it'll be great if we can figure out how to do the Spotify, because I know Spotify does videos as well too. And the nice thing is with Spotify, especially, if you are listening to a podcast, you can, if you choose to download the episode, you can either download the audio or you can watch and listen at the same time. So you do have those two options.
And I'm excited for the potential of, as we do video and stuff, being able to get some like clips from different things, and we'll start putting those up on our social media. So we'll have more than just our typical AI generated images, along with some information about the different episodes that are coming out and stuff. So
I'm sure Josh is going to try to screen grab a bunch of different things now, so
yeah, maybe so. All right, well, we love you guys very much. We hope you have a great rest of your week this week, and we will see you back in the next episode for your listener comments. We'll talk to you then. Love you. Bye.
I don't know why I waved.
You're just getting your practice in for when we actually.
I know, right?
Going.
Like it's one of those things where I'll forget about it. So like I'm being honest, I cannot hear the audio. So at the end, you'll have to like say something.
I tried to wait until it was like fading out, and then I said something.
Pause.